after our show on Thursday, there was news that outside Pursuit Church in Seattle, there'd been a shooting. And Pursuit Church has been in the news nationally quite a bit because they were involved. They were the Christians who were, trying to have a worship rally at Cal Anderson Park when they were met with Antifa activists. And so certainly, we've become close, I think, with the pastor at Pursuit and have had him on the show. So they were having a church picnic when a young man named Javon was clearly targeted and shot and killed right in front of his wife and small child as he was walking into the church late Thursday. And that, in and of itself is horrifying and sad enough for this young man to have been gunned down in cold blood while he's going to church for a picnic. Just an absolutely horrifying story. But certainly the more that has come out about LeBron and about the efforts that he'd made just in the last couple weeks to try to change his trajectory in life and turn to God and turn to the church, it's just nothing short of heartbreaking. We're going to get into some of the details of this, but our friend Jonathan Cho went down as soon as the 911 calls really started coming in about this shooting outside the church, and he filed this report.
Surveillance video shows a white Hyundai Elantra pulling up Thursday evening to Pursuit, Seattle, where a church barbecue was just getting underway.
And did he get out of the car to fire the shots?
A masked gunman jumps out and unloads a hail of gunfire at Javon, killing him instantly on the sidewalk in the University District. Javon is out of frame in the video.
Corner? Okay,
yes.
Okay, go ahead.
That's his wife and young child fleeing from the scene, somehow getting away unscathed.
This person was the only person who was harmed.
It's unclear why Javon was targeted, but church leaders say his rough past may have played a role in what appears to be a gangland-style shooting.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of homicides. That's clearly a hit. It's clearly targeted, and it appears to be a gang-style shooting, certainly to us, and I think to the police department as well. That white Hyundai Elantra they were looking for was driven just a short distance away to another church property where it was dumped and lit on fire. And so police are still actively trying to find the suspects. There's at least two of them in this case. Pursuit Church, meanwhile, has put out a $50,000 reward for information. They've also started a GoFundMe to help the family. But I think one of the reasons why this homicide, with all the homicides that we see happen in the city of Seattle and Washington State, has hit people so hard is LeBron had just started to turn his life around. You heard Jonathan Cho reference in there that, people at the church said he had a rough past. And LeBron was a street rapper, and he rapped about gangbanging. That's what he rapped about. And I understand that some people rap about gangbanging and they're not gangbanging at all, but it did seem as if, he was involved in that lifestyle. And he just, in the last month or so, found God, was a born-again Christian. I have a video from him that I'm going to play, one of his last posts on Instagram in a moment. But last night outside Pursuit Church, there was a candlelight vigil for LeBron and for his family. And inside, Pastor Russ gave, I'm not going to play the whole thing. I'm going to play a couple minutes of it because I was just in tears watching it this morning. Gave a very powerful statement to the congregation and to members of the community who had come out about the loss of LeBron and about the life that he was trying to lead.
LeBron had just gotten married on Tuesday. He was set to receive the keys to his new apartment on Friday and was murdered in cold blood at our church on Thursday evening. It's unthinkable that this would happen at a church in America in the year 2025. Even criminals supposedly have a code of honor. You don't shoot a man in broad daylight while he's at a house of worship with his wife and kid. With the crowd of people who had gathered and the amount of bullets that were fired, it is a miracle that this shooting did not result in a mass casualty event. And I hope to God I never have to read a statement like this again. Pursuit announced on Friday a $50,000 reward for any information that would lead to the arrest of the individuals responsible for this heinous crime. 76% of homicides in Seattle go unsolved. So we are praying today that justice will come quickly to those who perpetrated this unspeakable crime. Additionally, Pursuit has launched a GoFundMe for LeBron's family. And in just the last 48 hours, we've raised close to $50,000 to help them during this time of crisis. Over the last number of years, we have seen countless people get born again, baptized, discipled, and trained across our 3 campuses. And LeBron was one of those people. Just 2 months before he was shot and killed, LeBron made Jesus the Lord and Savior of his life. And in fact, his last post on Instagram, before his life was tragically cut short, was an invite to the young adult service for that Thursday evening. The thugs who committed this crime were trying to send a message. No church is safe. No house of worship is sacred. And the enemy would love for us to back down and hide, but that is simply not who we are.
So LeBron Javon, as I mentioned, he's a Seattle rapper. You might be wondering, is that his real name? No, his real name is Christopher LeBron Castleberry. And you might, look, I saw a lot of comments about this over the weekend. You know, I've been posting about this since it happened on Thursday and the updates going out. And I'll be honest, I was disappointed with a lot of the responses to it. You know, the kind of once a gangbanger, always a gangbanger. And again, I don't know the extent of sort of his gangbanging lifestyle. I know what he used to rap about. You know, I also have a brain, and I know that you don't get gunned down, you know, in broad daylight in a targeted hit for no reason. You know, I understand that. I mean, it doesn't mean it's a good reason, but certainly someone was upset with him for something. You know, and I understand, you know, we don't cover every gangbang shooting that happens in the city of Seattle. We cover very few of them because when you're involved in a lifestyle like that, you're at a higher risk for being shot and killed. We see this all the time. Today's shooter is tomorrow's victim when it comes to these young people who are caught up in a gang lifestyle. But, you know, I preach law and order a lot on this show. And, you know, I also think that if you believe in law and order and what we talk about, you have to believe that there's redemption for people. You have to believe that there is a pathway for people to be able to turn their lives around and to be able to do better, or else, and we have to be willing to celebrate that, because or else why do we call for it? You know, why do we talk about law and order and consequences and personal responsibility? You know, this is someone who very clearly had an epiphany, had decided, and I've said it many times, I'm not religious, but I understand the power of redemption, and I understand the power of believing in something bigger than yourself and what that can do for someone, especially if you're someone who has lost their way in life, who's trying to find meaning in their life and find something positive to grab a hold of. And I just, you know, I think we all have to celebrate that whenever there's anybody, regardless of, you know, how deep they've gone down the criminal justice system, or, you know, if they're involved in a gangbanger lifestyle, if they want to try to get out of it and pull themselves out of it to better their life and their child's life and their family's life, you know, to just sort of dismiss it as a once a gangbanger, always a gangbanger is sort of heartbreaking to me. And I wanted to play, I'm not going to play the whole thing, but again, I'll play a big chunk of it. So on his Instagram account, this was posted July 19th. And you see this shift in the types of posts that he's putting out there. He used to rap about gangbanging, and he gets on his Instagram July 19th and he says he's not going to do it anymore.
What's going on, y'all? Just to follow up on that post I made, I didn't want to seem all dramatic, but I mean, it is dramatic. It's a dramatic change in my life. Yeah, I'm taking all my old music down. You know, I was gonna take a lot longer to make this video. I just been having so much to do here lately that I don't know when I'm gonna have the time to really sit down and iron it out and make a perfect video. So I'm gonna just tell y'all right now, I gave my life to Christ, and some people are gonna not like that, and that's okay. That some people are gonna not follow me because I don't want to push a negative type of music anymore. And I just want to apologize to anybody I've led astray. You know, I'm sorry for that. I know that I'm a leader, that I've had an impact on a lot of people's life, and I'd like to say that I've had a positive impact too. But man, you can only be so positive without God. So I'm gonna start posting a lot of things about God. Everything's gonna be about God. Like I said, I know some people aren't really gonna like that, but I know there's a lot of people that need that. There's a lot of people who want that. And I'm here for y'all, and I'm here for those who don't like it too. It's all love. This isn't anything to judge anybody. This is my own convictions. This is how I'm living my life now. So that means, I'm not smoking weed no more. And it means a lot of things that, as if you continue to follow me and you don't unfollow me, you're gonna find out. But it's all good things. It's good news. It's the best news in the world. I promise you that.
And you can see how happy he is. You can see how much joy that brings him. I don't want to push these negative things anymore. I don't want to influence these young men into some gangbanger lifestyle by rapping about that. I'm going to delete my old music. I'm going to put out new music, and we're actually going to end the show today with one of the last songs that he put out after he decided to start rapping about his faith as opposed to gangbanging. And one of the things that I personally take from this, it's never too late. Life is short, right? Life is fleeting. You never know when it's going to end. And it is never too late to live the life that you want to live. You are never too far gone to live the life that you want to live, whatever that means. If it means you find religion, if it means that, you work to be a better person in some other way. And so, this is such a heartbreaking story on so many fronts. I mean, just at the core, having someone shot to death in front of their wife and child while they're heading into a church is horrifying. It's absolutely horrifying. But all the things he was going through in his life in the past month, and look, I know he found God and ultimately, tried to change his ways, and it didn't save his life for whatever reason. His past looks like it came back to haunt him, but he was trying, and he was trying to be a better person, and he left this world a better person than he was a month ago or 2 months ago. And I think that's something we have to celebrate.